Do you guys hear that?
Is that boss music?
Go naked and just go with the sword, and that's it.
What do I do with all this?
It says it in the title.
Hello. Welcome back to the Unearthing Games Podcast. I'm Nick, and today I'm joined by...
Hi, America.
And I'm Jacob. How's it going?
And we dig games. Things are going pretty well, by the way, Jake. So yeah, welcome back. On this podcast, every week, we each play a new game, or new to us, and talk to y'all about our experiences with it. And after we each talk about a video game, we will then talk about a board game. But before we get into all that, what have y'all been up to this week? Jacob?
What have I been up to this week? This week, like, in particular?
Yes. As in the past 7 days.
Well, I noticed that our brother was playing Battletech, and so I went and gave him a whole bunch of crap for playing a new game, finally.
I know, he spent, 6 months of his life playing Fallout?
Fallout.
Probably years of his life playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, he has a problem. Anyway, he was playing Battletech, and I was talking to him about it, and he was like, yeah, you should totally play Battletech. So I got into Battletech. Mistake number one. Because it just made me remember why I despised percentage-based tactics games.
But I was like, for someone who despises it, you've been playing it a lot this week too, man. Every
Maybe
time I
like
get the little Steam
abuse.
pop-up, it says, Jacob's playing Battletech. And it's like, huh. Then it says, yeah.
Maybe I like the abuse, Nick.
Sometimes you have to let games abuse you. Sometimes.
I'm sorry, but when there's also that satisfying factor of, when you get that perfect shot on that mech and it's just collapses and then you...
Well, yeah, but then you've got the 99% chance hit, that misses. It's like, oh no.
We don't talk about those times, okay? But that and Animal Crossing, that's what I've been doing mostly.
You're still on Animal Crossing?
Hell yeah, I'm still on Animal Crossing. I got an island to run.
How's that going?
It's great. I've actually started laying out little paths and everything. It's wonderful. It's so great. I'm working on figuring out all the DIYs. I'm not going to build anything, but they're just to have. It's going to be great.
I'm learning DIY, not to actually do it myself, but just to say I know how.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I really liked about that game was that the music was just very chill. Just so relaxing.
So calming. I love it. I like Animal Crossing a lot. It's so fun. Such a chill game. Anyway, that's what I was doing this week.
Sounds like a ton of fun. All right, Erica, what you been up to?
A lot of work and more work. I played some solitaire this week on Tabletop Sim by myself.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
It's not as real as playing it with a deck of cards, so I'm going to go back to just using a deck of cards in the future.
I mean, we have the desk, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, it was just there. I just opened it. It was mostly, so I built a new PC recently, and it was more just to test if it would run the Tabletop Sim, since I haven't actually gotten a graphics card for my computer yet, because graphics cards are hard to come by, especially right now. So just to see if it would work, and it did. So at least for solitaire. I don't know about other more graphically intensive tabletop sim games, but it did solitaire very well.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the games that we're actually going to play on tabletop sim are all that taxing. I mean,
they're board games.
Yeah. Just a few more cards,
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
It's a wonderful time. Can it run Crisis? No.
She doesn't have the graphics card yet. And besides, who wants to melt their CPU?
Right. I mean, without a graphics card, yes, Crisis will melt your PC. I don't recommend it.
So is that an actual thing? I've been scared of opening certain games. What if it melts my computer? Wouldn't my computer
No.
just not run it?
Your computer will crash first before it
that's
melts.
what I thought.
You will get warnings, especially with the stuff that you have set up. You will get warnings.
And
before you get there.
I think the people who melted their literally melted their computers were probably overclocking
Yeah,
their PCs.
And you're not about that life. So
I'm worried if I have like 10 tabs open at the same time. Like,
Well, that's just
I don't
Chrome.
know why.
I mean,
That's just Chrome eating your RAM.
yeah, Chrome will eat all 64 gigs of your RAM. So
Oh, she has 64 gigs.
I think
I'm
so,
jealous.
right?
I have 16.
Yeah, 64.
I need more RAM. Anyway,
But Google
not about my
will eat
PC.
it all. It's a glutton.
Not about my PC
I'm
specs.
just saying, like I've been nervous about, like, I haven't used it a lot, and it's because I've been nervous. Like, even with the game that we played this week, like, it wasn't even graphically intensive, but I was very worried about it, like, having issues. Like, I was checking my temperature of my CPU all the time. I was like, I'm scared.
You've
But it was fine.
you've got the RAM. You've got the RAM.
To be young, to have your new PC.
Oh my god. So, PC issue I fixed this week with my new PC. So, when it would go to sleep, after like random intervals, but it was always like less than 5 minutes after it went to sleep, it would automatically just turn back on.
Nice. That's Windows.
Like, it would wake it up out of sleep. And so I Googled it, and I actually found the answer. The Ethernet was making it turn back on. Like, you can run a command prompt to see what woke up my computer last, and it'll be like, oh, this device woke up your computer, and it was the Ethernet port. So you can go into your settings and turn that off so that the Ethernet doesn't auto wake up your PC.
Huh.
Yeah, you tell it to only accept magic packets.
Yeah,
Interesting.
magic packets is if you're like doing Steam Link and you want your Steam Link to turn your computer on, then that's a magic packet.
What was the thing?
Oh, Lord.
Wake on LAN, right? That was the official nomenclature.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. So you just spend a lot of solitaire and work
Yeah. And computer things.
and computer stuff and computer troubleshooting.
Her job is relentless, man. Like, it'll be flipping 10 o'clock at night, and her manager's like sending her emails and text messages and stuff like that. Like, we need to talk about X tomorrow, and tomorrow we have to do this. And hey, could you get back on tonight and do X, Y thing? You know, it's like, oh my God, dude. It's like there's a whole other
You're
person
asleep.
in our relationship. And honestly, she talks to him more than she talks to me.
Oof. Oh, well.
Oh. Yeah.
Or what have you been up to, Nick?
This week, I've been working, right? Probably not being as productive as I ought to be. I'm still taking the really deep dive into Xbox Game Pass.
Nice.
So I downloaded Enter the Gungeon, I downloaded Moonlighter, I downloaded what it was, Forza something, but you were playing that, Erica, because I'm not crazy about Forza.
Horizons, probably.
It's one of the newer ones. It was like a 60 gig download when we downloaded it. It took like an entire evening. We came back to it. But
Yeah.
it was great because it
That's
was all
every-
like ready to play. And by ready to play, it means you can run one racetrack and then you have to wait for the rest of the 60 gigs to download.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't even run one racetrack, did it? It just ran like the intro race where it's like, oh, this is a game about stories about racing and you're gonna race. Here, race this one race. And then it was like, okay, please wait for the game to download.
Well, it's like Battlefront's ready to play deal. It was really just like a little mini game that was there so that you could just play as Vader for a while you waited for your game to download.
But that honestly, that's a ton of fun. Running around as Vader,
Honestly,
you know?
Playing as Vader is really fun.
And you're like swinging your lightsaber around. That's, what's not to love?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Exactly.
Anyway,
So
Well, that's
I've
great.
been doing that, hitting the roguelites really hard. I did go and I re-downloaded the Master Chief Collection, but I haven't actually booted it up yet because it was like a 50 gig download. Well, no, it downloaded. And then I went to go update it, and it's like, hey, we got to update 45 gigs.
Mhm.
And I
Nice.
basically, like, I would have thrown my controller across the room, but I just put it down, and I was like, I'll play something else. And I let the update start. So
Nice.
maybe tomorrow
Yeah.
I'll play some Halo. It's been a long time since I've played Halo, but I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
Go play some ODST or something.
Right? Don't you have Reach on there too? Did you buy Reach?
I might have. Oh, that was another thing. I made myself very sad because I thought that I bought the season pass for Borderlands 3,
No.
but it turns out I didn't buy it when it was cheap, and now it's like $60, and I don't want to buy a season pass for the same price as a game.
Yeah,
and
make sure when you do buy it, if you ever do buy it. Make sure you buy the first season pass, not the second one, because there are 2 season passes now, which is
didn't
bupkis,
they announce
but
that they were going to do a new round of content, or is the season 2 is the season 2 pass just the skins that it has in that one like extra skill tree?
Right now it's just that. That's it. There's really no reason to buy the season 2 pass for Borderlands 3
it's like
because it is nothing.
You could just go and buy
worthwhile
the skill trees pack for like $10 instead of paying like $50 for the season 2 pass.
for stuff that might be good later on down the line. Yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna wait.
That was kind of
that.
why I didn't buy. I think why I didn't buy the season 1 pass was because the game itself was good, but it didn't hook me like the second one did. We talked about this before.
Yeah, we talked about this when I.
I thought that I bought it when it was on sale, and I didn't.
Oh well.
And oh well, I'm sure at the time I was like, that's Future Me's problem, and now Future Me is pissed off. But
Future Me's having a problem.
But
that's good.
It is all right. So yeah, so it seems like everyone's been keeping busy this week. Probably Erica more than any of us.
Probably.
But yeah, so now that we've talked about what we've been up to, Jacob, why don't you tell us about your game?
Well, my game that I played for this round it's called Cliff Empire. It is on Steam, its tags are City Builder, Colony Sim, Simulation, and Strategy. And it is by Lion's Shade Studio. Or no, it's just Lion's Shade. It's not studios or anything.
Okay.
And they're both developer and publisher. It has pretty decent reviews on Steam. And so the premise of it is you are the remnants of humanity, right? Okay. After a nuclear war devastated the surface, people are coming down from space to try and set up life again. And they're building cities on these artificially constructed plateaus. They call them cliffs. But they're like man-made structures that they are now putting like the foundations of new human civilization on.
So they built like really tall towers to build things on top of.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
It's a wild time. So, and they're not procedurally generated, which I think would do well. But it makes sense that they're preset layouts.
Okay.
So every time you play the game, every setup you do, you have 3 cliffs to build on. You'll always have 3, and you choose. And each cliff is technically independent. So you
can't like bridge them or anything.
You can later. But even then, the bridges that you build between them are for trade. So.
Oh, so you have to build like 3 independent cities.
So you're building 3 independent cities on this thing, and it's great because they have they have a government system that you can put onto your cliffs, right?
Okay.
That, I had my initial cliff, the game that I'm running right now, is my moneymaker. Like. It has the stablest economy, and it was basically bankrolling the other 2 cliffs for a while, and it was I had never had to basically scrap a cliff before because it was just so garbage. Its economy was busted until but I had to, and it was. It's really nice. It's got a really monochromatic color palette. Everything is white and gray.
I'm seeing this very, very, very future tech in the pictures here on Steam.
I was about to say,
it almost look like it's like little plastic model cities that you can like connect together, where it's just like that gray 3D printed looking thing. It
is, and so. When I lay out, when I start out on a city, you start out with, you drop your supply platform, right? Your supply platform comes with enough supplies to get the basics running. So, to get a landing platform for the modules to bring citizens down, to get housing, to get food set up, to get mineral mining set up, and each cliff actually has a different percentage of like different resources. So like one of them, so say one of your cliffs will have 100% soil fertility. Boom, okay. That's your crop place. It's right. You're going to make crops there all the time. That's going to be their main thing. Mm-hmm. Another one will have 100% groundwater. Your water resources.
How is that if it's just tall pillars that are
don't think about it, Erica.
Okay.
Because I don't really know how to explain it. It just is.
It's like, hey y'all, this man-made tower has got a big supply of ore in it. Hope you want to go mining. It's like, why would you mine in a skyscraper?
It really does. Don't think about it. But
okay.
this is how
these blocks, but we're gonna make them very specific to very.
Yep. No, this is how it is. This is how it is.
Okay.
This is the way.
Oh gosh.
But well, it's simple. Like they're all like each city is, like I said, independent. You have to find a nice equilibrium to where they can both be profitable and also help the other cities out, because later on, once you because you can build a university which opens up the research tree, right? Excuse me. And there are a whole bunch of research options that allow you to basically average out some resources for all three cities. Like there's one that is like connected electricity, so all of the power generation made by all of your cities is all averaged together and put into one number, and it's distributed throughout all three. Okay. There's another one that's water resources, and it's again same thing. Every single city benefits from
the same water sources.
Yeah, the same water sources.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Food has been my biggest problem. Because your people, well, they will die. They will die.
Do you get like little pop-ups that's like, someone died in your city?
No, you don't.
You just see the population number going down. It's like, oh, flip.
The only numbers you get are the amount of housing you have open and the amount of housing that is occupied. And the amount of workers.
Like, oh, you have more housing available.
oh, okay. Anyway, so wonderful story for when I was from the city that I had to basically scrap and start over. What did I do? I like shut down the entire city except for like the essentials, and so naturally all the people left that city. Mm-hmm. I was running on a skeleton crew of the overflow from other cities.
Like people that wanted to be somewhere else but had nowhere else to go, kind of thing?
So people will move in and they will live on a city, mm-hmm. but you can get certain infrastructure set to cart them in and have them work at other cities.
Okay.
Commuting.
So so they're commuting to work. I had like a skeleton crew to man the essential areas of this city while I got their economy set up. Mm-hmm. Before I like slowly brought them back, because you have to know your food resources can't, like your population's only going to be as big as your food will allow, right?
Right.
People like, yeah, you can have as much housing as you want, but people are going to leave if they don't have enough food.
Right.
And so I was running off a skeleton crew from the other cities for a while until I was like, okay, we're going to build a house now. Just a single house. Let people start moving back in. And then I just did that really slowly until they got them back on their feet. They were still drowning in debt from the other city that was bankrolling them, but
yeah,
it was wonderful.
So they have debt from the other cities? Like they keep track of that in the game?
Uh-huh. So but you control that. You as the
Right.
player control the debt of all three. So I have to build a town hall on every single cliff.
Yeah.
And the town hall is where you run all of that, all of your expenses. And it's like that's where you can issue or pay off your loans. And it's also where I can trade carrier drones. Drones are how resources are like divvied up throughout your city, throughout a individual cliff. An individual cliff can have so many drones working on it.
Yeah.
And they just move resources around wherever they need to go to where they need to be, and pulling it also from where they're produced to storage or to sell or anywhere. They're the backbone of your economy.
So, short of the nuclear winter, this is the future that Bezos wants to make for us, with the drones just taking everything everywhere.
I mean, let's face it, Bezos might start a nuclear winter just so we can have this.
I mean, I didn't want to say that, but...
No, Bezos won't do that. But it's really neat. But I don't think I've given this game enough time to see what all it has to offer, because I've noticed that I was going through the Steam page, and one of the videos, it shows cities kind of in a Frostpunk style. Do you know what, like...
Okay. Yeah,
where, like, you have a central tower.
Is the like you said, the central tower. It's like a post-apocalyptic winter thingy, right? That's a whole other game.
It's a whole other game, but it's got like cities in the style of that. Cities that are space stations, and I'm just like, oh my god. I haven't even scratched the surface of this game because I'm still playing on 3 freaking plateaus. Like, I need to spend more time with it.
Could that be? I was looking at the Steam page too when you said you were going to talk about this game, and it like a lot of the more recent reviews were all like, the game's dead, the devs abandoned the game, it's whatever, it hasn't been updated in ages. But then it looks like just in November, the dev made an announcement that they're working on a big update. So could the space stations thing be from the update coming?
Are you referring to the AI Olympus?
Well, yeah, that's the most recent announcement on the Steam page. So.
That is a separate game in the works by Lion's Shade.
Well, that's lame.
It is. I read it. It's a neat idea. It's going to be a third person, like, tactical shooter set in the world of Cliff Empire. Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, okay. I don't know anything about this. Oh, I totally forgot. There's a tower defense aspect to this game.
There really?
There really is. You can build defenses, and you'll have raiders come in. And it's hilarious, because if you don't stop them, they have this giant-ass ship that will literally drop down, pick up your storage, and leave. They will take everything. And
it actually looks really cool.
I'm just like, I don't know how to fight that, because there is a tower defense deal you can do in this game.
Have you never played a tower defense game? You have to like make them kite all the way around through all your guns.
This isn't Balloons, man.
Balloons. Oh
Balloons
my God.
is a great game. All right, it's tower defense gold.
No, but this isn't Balloons. The game will tell you, hey, there's raiders coming from this direction, and you have to hope that you have defenses set up in that area to stop them.
So this sounds like you playing City Skylines, where it's like, oh, I settled next to the beach, but didn't think I would need a tsunami detector.
Hey,
tsunami incoming. My city's gone.
Hey,
it's like, raiders incoming. Maybe I should have guns to protect myself.
It's always an afterthought, okay? And I'll have you know that I didn't even unlock the beach side yet in that cityscape. No, I'm not going to go into that rant. It's because that is a rant. Why I don't play with natural disasters anymore.
So I'm looking at this game on Steam, and because I wanted to add it to my wish list. But looking at the way the cities are laid out and stuff, is it like a grid system?
Yes.
Like, does everything snap into place?
Oh, she'll love that.
That makes me so happy.
You can. It's definitely set up. The central part is once you get to the edges of your
there's
cliffs,
some like rough edges kind of thing.
There's some rough edges that don't they're kind of irritating because they don't exactly line up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want a grid layout,
Yeah.
it definitely does have that. They don't snap, but you can, if you're dexterous enough, you can get things to line up right.
Yeah. I mean, lining up squares isn't that bad. Like, I was thinking, like,
Oh,
is there,
lining
like,
up
could you make,
squares
like,
ain't that
zigzag roads and stuff? Like, no. Like, you're
So-
placing down, like, cubes type things?
So the roads, they're not really there for use. Everything is done through drones.
It's like
right?
sidewalks
The
in
roads-
Texas. They're not there for use.
No, like exactly. They're there to look good. Like
Okay.
like the pedestrian walkways that you can access,
Mm-hmm.
they don't do anything. Not
Well, isn't
really.
that how the people get to their jobs? Like,
No.
I know that the drones are the ones that supply everything everywhere, but do they also carry people to work?
No. Drones do that too. You can set
Really?
up, you can set up busing stations that have drones
Could you imagine?
carting people.
You step out your front door and the drone is there ready for you. He's like, "Hey, it's time to go to work." It just
No,
carts
and
me
you
off.
can what was I gonna say? A drone type you can make is called the personal drone, and it is basically a flying car that just
Well, at
flies.
that point, it's basically like a jetpack, right?
Yeah.
A jetpack that just is programmed on where to go.
But from what I've seen, people don't usually have a problem getting to work any other way. I don't think they bother you with that aspect of it because you're too worried about making sure they have enough to eat.
That's like a big
or-
luxury good.
Yeah. Well, there's luxury goods you make too. Like you can make appliances and furniture and gadgets.
I mean,
They're all luxuries.
I guess, if you think about it,
It's-
the toaster oven I have in the kitchen is totally a luxury.
It's a luxury.
We
You
don't
don't
even
need
have a
it.
toaster oven.
I meant the toaster.
You don't. But no, but these things make your people happy, which makes your city more appealing to people, and
to
there'll
bring
be
more people in, kind of thing.
Yeah, to bring more people in. There's also little missions that they make you do, which is probably why I haven't experienced the entire game because I haven't completed all the missions. But yeah, there's also like weather events that'll happen that
Ooh.
that will significantly reduce some aspects, like
Nuclear tsunamis.
no, like storms. Like so, storms will. If you're relying on wind power is going to be over generating, which is wonderful because you want things to be generating at a higher percentage than what they normally do. But the side effect is that lightning strikes are more common, so you're going to lose drones to lightning strikes, or you're going to start fires because of lightning strikes. And also, solar power is completely out because the sun is blocked.
Well, yeah, but that's a
So-
balance, though. If your wind
Well, yeah, so
is overproducing and your solar's not, then it's a wash.
Yeah. But also, like, you have to deal with, losing drones to lightning and everything.
Well, ground your drones. You're in the storm.
Because you can't. Your
During
economy
a-
comes to a standstill.
You need them flying around. If you lose one or two, that's fine. It's
They're
just
not
a
manned.
drone. Yeah.
Anyway, but that's Cliff Empire. I haven't even scratched the surface of it. It is a wonderful city sim. It's not on the scale of cities skylines, but it is a much smaller scale than that, and it's really fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I already added it to my wish list, and I'm moving it to number 1 as we speak.
I mean, it's only $12, guys.
Yeah, I'll
It is
definitely buy this for
$12.
Erica in the Steam winter sale, because while I don't think this is something that's up my alley, I think I would really enjoy watching her build stuff in this. Remember how you used to just build cities on the big TV in the room, and I would just, I don't know, be playing on my DS or something while you were doing that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, I read one of the reviews for Cliff Empire. It's about this new AI Olympias
Mhm.
deal, and he thought it was an update for the game. It's not. It is a tactical third-person shooter in the Cliff Empire universe.
So did this
And
game
he
just
says-
never get updated? That like it never had
It's-
any like content updates kind of thing?
Not substantial content updates. Like, it's had updates. I think its last real update was September 11th in 2019.
Okay. You know,
And
I mean,
then after that,
it's like I say that, and I feel like maybe that's a problem with us video game consumers nowadays. That like, I feel
We're
like
so
maybe
used
we're a
to
bit
things getting-
greedy. Like it's like, oh, I don't want to pay you for DLC. Like, ugh, how dare you try to charge me $5 for more content? Ugh. But at the same time, if you just release a good base game and don't make anything else, I get all mad. It's like, ugh, why is there not more content for me? This is ridiculous. Silly devs. They can't all be Stardew Valley, where he just, for decades,
out all
makes
the time.
more and more content that make his amazing game even more amazing. I mean,
Well, that's like a love child of his. That's different.
yeah, it's different when it's something that you.
It's a lot different when it's one person making a game or like a small team versus like a publisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not quality wise, but sometimes just how much more they want to put into it.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I would see that with any project that I would do, right? If I'm like making a blanket or something, it's like, oh, well, what if I add this extra bit? Or what if I did this instead? Or, you know, like,
content creep.
it's different.
Hey, it's the thing.
hey man,
It's when you get bogged down by just, oh, I could add so much more to this, and then you just never.
I'm okay
you
with
never
it, man.
finish.
That there's a Stardew Valley update's gonna drop sometime in December, and I am gonna be so excited when that drops, man. Whole new areas. They're gonna have ducks swimming on the water. It's gonna be
Oh
amazing.
my god.
And
No,
all
but-
anybody knows about it is the pictures that he's been teasing us with. That's all anybody knows. I don't
Yeah,
care.
but-
I'm excited.
All right, Cliff Empire, everybody.
Looks
By Lion's Shade. It's
really
it's a
cool.
wonderful game.
Looks really cool. All right, so that was Jacob's game. Again, really cool. Super excited to see about that. So Jacob, you need to play more, and Eric are definitely getting you that game.
hmm
But enough about Cliffs. Erica, what game were you playing this last week?
So my super visually intensive game I played is not at all. So I played Thomas Was Alone this week. It's a platformer. Again, I'm gonna move away from platformers after this week because I am just tired of playing platformers. See, my issue is that I love how platformers look, and I would like to watch someone play them, but I wouldn't like to finish them myself. Nick actually finished playing this game for me
Ooh.
while I watched. So Thomas is Alone is by Bithell Games. It's by Mike Bithell. I don't know how to pronounce it. On Steam, it's tagged as a platformer, indie, narration, minimalist, puzzle. So the whole minimalist is the joke on the very visually intensive game that I played that I thought was gonna burn down my computer. So this game, you play as different little squares and rectangles, and each of them has like different abilities.
Ma'am, they're all rectangles. All right. They even say at one point, it's like this band of rectangles is whatever. So get it right.
Isn't it like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares?
But they are all rectangles. All of them are.
Some of them are squares. But are also classified as
Anyway.
rectangles. Anyway, you start off as Thomas, and Thomas was alone, and the narration in this game is amazing. Like, if you think of like Stanley Parable kind of thing, like that's what the narration is like, but more with like a British accent.
How wonderful.
It was great. So Thomas is alone, and so I gotta be honest, like the story of all of this wasn't as clear to me. Like, you have to read through all the little things, but basically this computer company created these AIs, and it seems like they just left them alone in this world, right?
It was
That doesn't sound safe at all.
from what I read, it seems like they made these AIs for some purpose. That they don't say what, but they did what they were supposed to do. And then they left them in the program thinking that they didn't need to do anything about it. and I guess the AIs became self-aware, and that's how Thomas became Thomas, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, the whole beginning of the story doesn't make a lot of sense, but eventually all the AI, so you meet a lot of different shapes and they all do different things. So it's a platformer. Thomas starts out just a basic square / rectangle, and he has the ability to jump, and he's a pretty good jumper, so he platforms. That's what he's doing as he's realizing what he is and what he can do, because even in the very beginning the narrator's like talking about like Thomas was alone. That's a weird first thought, like alone, what is alone, and stuff like that. It's really cute. I love the narration in this game. But you're just platforming and stuff. Then he runs into different shapes, and they all have different names. There's like Thomas and Chris and John, Claire, Sarah, Chris. I don't remember the other ones.
There was a lot.
Laura. There was a Laura.
Who was the superhero, the big blue square?
That's Claire.
Claire.
Yeah, so Thomas is a little square. John is the tall rectangle. Then Chris is the little fat rectangle that can't jump very well. Right?
That was Chris. Chris was the one that couldn't jump very far.
Yeah, Chris couldn't jump very far. Then there's Claire was the big square. Then the bouncy one was Laura. And then the green one was Sarah. But the purple one was Sarah, that could double jump?
Yeah, the green one was like, it was the guy's name, and it was like the opposite of Thomas.
Yeah, he came in towards the end.
Yeah, because it's I say opposite of Thomas because Thomas is always on the bottom of the screen, and he has like a medium jump. This guy had a medium jump too, but he's always stuck to the top of the screen.
Yeah, he has like anti-gravity basically. So all of his platforms, you're jumping down to get around things. So all of these characters, they all do different things. So their jumps vary. All of them can jump. Some can jump really high. Some can jump really low. Claire's the big blue square, and she can float in water. None of the other squares can. So you use her as a little boat to get the other shapes around these different levels. Laura's bouncy, so if you bounce on her and then jump, you jump higher, things like that.
Trampoline.
Yeah, she's like a little trampoline.
Everybody
and it was sad,
trained.
like when she was first introduced, she was alone, but she was glad she was alone because that meant that there was no one jumping on her anymore. And then like the next level, there's someone jumping on her. I felt so bad, but they fell in love.
Oh. What?
So you're guiding
it was Laura and Chris, right? They were in love.
Laura and Chris, yeah. They fell in love.
Because Chris can't jump, and Laura helps him jump.
It was adorable. So it's a platformer. You're just going through these levels and they're trying to figure out. It's like an existential AI crisis. They're trying to figure out what they're there and what their purpose is for. And finally, they meet Sarah. She's the one that double jumps, and she's like, "Oh, well, there's this thing." And it has the answers to everything, and basically it's like the internet. And it has, they even mentioned like, so eventually Thomas jumps into the stream of the internet and
Spoilers.
It's not even the end of the game. That's not the spoiler.
I know, it's an 8-year-old game. If you haven't played this yet, I mean, you should still go and play it. It's amazing.
Well, the joke is like he sees all the cat videos and what was the other stuff?
He's seen the cats that can't spell. He's seen the it was like 3 or 4 different memes they referenced.
And then there was like one actor that they referenced that we didn't understand why that he was referenced.
I'm actually drawing a blank now. All I remember is he's seen the cat videos.
Oh, he saw the cake, but he was told that it wasn't real, that it was a lie.
Oh, what was it? It's like, he'll never escape. He'll never meet Nathan Fillion.
There you go, Nathan Fillion.
That's amazing.
It was so great.
The narration is great, but it's just a platformer. It's got a cute little story to it. Eventually, all the first round of AI you meet give their powers to other AI towards the end, and then that's where like even the end of the story didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Well, it was this whole odd thing, like, because like you said, between every level, when the level started, there would be like this exposition sort of thing where it was like excerpts from like the staff of this company that owned the computers these AIs were in. They talk about like the event that I guess was whatever it is the Thomas and crew do. Because at some point in the game, there's like a bit of conflict where I think the people that run the computers are like trying to delete them.
Right. And there's that cloud. There's like a cloud that's following them, and it takes them away one by one.
But the cloud that's following them is an AI also, and it doesn't really delete them. It just puts them somewhere else, like an AI prison, basically.
Yeah.
It's really weird because it goes for a while, making you think that they're dead, and it's like, no, they're not dead. We're just separating them all, even though they know this band of adventuring, trapezoids.
Yeah, and then there's like a mean AI. And he wants the power, and it's like, we can't let him have the power, basically.
After a while, it got a little crazy, but such a cute narrative. It was really great. Every character, like, you wouldn't think that rectangles and squares could have such personality, but by golly, they sure did.
I know, and you fall in love with all of them, like Chris and Laura and their love story, and Claire thought she was a superhero because she was the only one that can float in the water, and so her mission was to save all the little squares or rectangles from the evil water and her arch nemesis and
then
stuff.
Thomas and the green one become like best friends because they're like opposites, I can't remember their name.
I can't remember the green ones. That's the only one I can't remember right now.
Yeah. I keep wanting to say Chris, but Chris is the orange one that can't jump.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Thomas Was Alone. If you're looking for a really awesome, it's a fun puzzle platformer because it is a puzzle thing. Every level is you jumping around obstacles to push buttons to open up doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, and using each of the different shapes in their different ways, like bouncing, or this one can't jump high, or it's too big to fit in this hole, let's use this other one. It's very much a puzzle platformer.
If you're looking for a narrator whose voice is as smooth as butter, this guy.
Yeah.
So good. Just, Thomas Was Alone by, what was it? Biffle
Games.
So good. So good.
Wonderful. Sounds really neat.
It's really fun. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's a good little platformer. But yeah, what do we decide, Erica? No more platformers for you?
Yeah, I'm taking a break from platformers, everyone, after this. I am not playing platformers for a while. Like, I'm starting to schedule out like what new games I want to try, and I am trying to steer away from platformers because I can't, like, going through this, like, I would get through like 4 or 5 levels and I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done for today. Yeah. What's next?
Oh man.
But if it's got a story, or if it's like a city builder, then it's got like, I don't know, it's got a different pool for me when it's that type of game versus a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, platformers can have really awesome stories too, okay? Well, when we were going through your schedule, there's a couple of times where I was like, are you sure you want that one? It's a platformer. And you're like, oh, no, take it off the list. You're like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
All the platformers are always so cute, and like, I want to see someone play them.
I will.
You don't want to be the one playing.
I volunteer as tribute.
Oh,
Thank
Lord.
you.
There you go. I'll play your platformers because I'm a. You know how Jacob's a slut for roguelites? Well, I'm a sucker for platformers. I love a good platformer.
Oh yeah. Honestly, you said you were doing roguelites, and I was like, ooh.
I know, right?
Pick his brain.
Hey.
Anyway.
Okay. So we got Jacob's game. We got Erica's. So this past week, my game was this cute little game called Drake Hollow. 2 words. And it's Drake. It's Drake, like kind of like the dragon Drake, or no, more like mandrake, like a mandrake root, you know?
Or like Drake.
Like the rapper Drake. Is his name spelled like that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake.
The whole she used to call me on my cell phone. That one.
She used to call me on the phone.
that guy. All right, sorry. Okay, this is by this is developed and published by The Molasses Flood. So I've seen a couple of other games by these guys. They made a game called the the Fire and the Flood that I tried to play and it was absolute trash at. So I couldn't even get through the first act. But it looked so cool. But I saw this and was like, hey, I know those guys. And so I booted this up and it is adorable. So the premise of Drake Hollow is that the characters are youths. I'm going to say like teens, teenagers that have gotten pulled into some sort of supernatural conflict, basically. Like the way the story starts out is your character is like moping on the side of some cliff, like sad about your life or something like that. Oh no, it's your significant other is texting you and it shows you that. And basically like it seems like they break up with you via text message.
Oh,
that's like the lowest of the low. Like what kind of a coward breaks up via text message? Like send an email, flip.
Come on.
God, write them a letter
Like
if you're going to chicken out like that. I mean,
like an honorable human being.
You'd be better off
Jesus.
ghosting somebody than breaking up via text message.
Ghosting is so much worse.
Ghosting is worse.
Honestly, breaking up via text is practically ghosting. Sorry, we're not getting into this. We're not getting into this.
Anyway.
Okay, so that's how it starts. Your character has like been broken up with, and so they're sad, moping on the outskirts of town. And in most fairy tale fashion, a random talking animal shows up and is like, "Hey there, friend. My friends need your help. Why don't you follow me?" And it leads you to a doorway that's just out in the middle of nowhere, So it's very like Chronicles of Narnia kind of thing. Like, look, it's a door. And the door opens up and you pass into this place called the Hollow. So it's a third person. The tags. I didn't read the tags for Steam. Its tags are Colony Sim, Open World, Base Building Sandbox. So it's a pretty neat little, me, Colony Sim, base building. I'm sold. And so you control it via third person. So you run around this character. As you explore different islands, like it's broken up into a bunch of islands, and there's some weird fog between every island that tries to kill you, called like the ether or something to that effect. And your whole goal is to help these things called drakes. They're little plant people that are adorable. Your goal is to try to help them survive. They're apparently some dark overlord has tried to take over the Hollow, and so he's trying to eat all the drakes, and him and his little minions. And so you have to protect them. And so you explore the islands, you find resources and stuff to help them build beds and farms and I think eventually defenses, but I didn't get that far. Like I saw a picture of like a drake sitting on like a little ballista turret, like shooting at bad guys, and I was like, this is like some Ewoks killing stormtroopers nonsense going on here. It was adorable. You find a bunch of weapons throughout the game, and the weapons are random household nonsense. You could be fighting with a broom or a ski or a ski pole, or you might find a hatchet, or you might find a table leg, or basically any kind of impromptu zombie apocalypse weapon is what you find here. But you also find other random nonsense. Like I found a water balloon launcher, and that was a ranged weapon, right?
Nice.
And you laugh, but it was actually really darn powerful because like there was like several tiers of the bad guys that attack. Like you had like little easy guys and like big behemoth dudes. Well, the water balloon launcher like took the big behemoths down. Like they don't like getting wet.
Oh, does it have good splash damage?
Oh my
wow.
God.
Okay, yeah, we'll let her have it.
Oh Lord. Anyway.
So I got through the entire first level. Like I said, it seems really cool. It doesn't hold your hand very much. It'll say like, hey, you need to do X. But then when it's like, how do you do X? It's like, we're not going to tell you. It'll be like, hey, friend, you need to get crystals to level up your drakes. Where do I get crystals from? I literally spent 2 hours exploring the islands, trying to find out where the heck to get crystals from. And it turns out if you like go to like the islands that are farther away from your home base, you can find the big bad guys, and the big bad guys drop crystals when you kill them. But the big bad guys also, might kill you. So there's that.
Risk reward,
Yeah, risk reward. It's cool. It had an Assassin's Creed moment where it has you go crawl up on a really tall tower, and you do the whole eagle vision thing to see all around. And that's how you survey the area. And just by looking out into the fog, it's like, oh, there's probably a drake on this island, and this island, and this island, and this island. and so that's how you know where to basically go.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. I did. I would say that one of the things I thought was a bit of a downfall was that it feels like it would be better with friends. Like the difficulty did ramp up a lot when I got to the second world. Like there was just so many bad guys, and it's just me, or I feel like if it was like me and 2 or 3 other people, 'cause I think it has a max of like 4-player co-op. And I was like, if you had a whole team of people, y'all could take on this many shadow things, but just one guy with a broomstick, I can only do so much. So
yeah.
But other than that, I thought it was really, really adorable. I really enjoyed it. It did have a nifty little mechanic where you could make these ley lines, for lack of a better way to put it, like little waypoints. Like you put down a big stick with a crystal on it, and then you go like 100 paces away, and you put down another stick, and it'll make like a beam of light between them. And you can like hop on that beam of light and surf it to get to like farther islands, And you could also connect it to like these weird like delivery trucks that are somehow in this magical world. You connect it to the delivery trucks, and their goods will get delivered back to your base. So it's a way for you to get building materials back home without having to like carry it all back yourself. So
that's neat.
It was neat. Like I said, I feel like it was something I definitely would want to. If it goes on sale, I probably would buy it for you too, so we can maybe all try it out and see. I feel like I said, with friends, I feel like this would be a really fun. Plus, y'all are gonna, if y'all haven't seen them already, go look at the Drakes on Steam. They're adorable.
Yeah,
they are just adorable. Like you want to save these little things, man. This is literally saving Ewoks from stormtroopers, is what this is. So you don't want to save cute little critters from evil things that want to eat them, then you're the monster here.
I am the monster. What?
But
anyway.
But yeah, so that's Drake Hollow. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It is by the Molasses Flood. You can get it on, I'm pretty sure, just about any console. I think it's on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. It might be on Switch, but who's to say? They take all sorts of things. They'll have Skyrim, but then won't have like basic platformers and stuff. So I don't know. who's to say what Switch is going to take? It's really cool. Sandbox game. If you like sandboxes, base building, colony management sort of stuff, this game will be right up your alley. So, I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Seems really neat.
Yeah. All right, so those are our 3 games for the week. Now that we've talked about those, let's jump into our board game. The board game that we played this week was Life Siphon by Lay Waste Games. We love those guys. They're so great.
Oh, yeah.
So, Erica, why don't you tell us about how you discovered Life Siphon, because you were the one that backed the Kickstarter, right?
So I kickstarted the game. That's how I learned about it. So I had kickstarted like the second edition or whatever it's called, print of Dragoon, and I became part of the Lay Waste mailing list. And so they sent out an email that was like, we're gonna have a new game in a week on Kickstarter. And so in a week I kickstarted a game. And so this is Life Siphon. The really cool thing about this is that it takes place in the same world as Dragoon. So the dragons are all running amok on the land trying to take it back. You and your friends have gone underground for safety, and you come across this old, I think it's like a book or a box,
like
with the
Necronomicon or something like that,
Yeah, with a giant eye on it, and you open it and you get sucked into this world where you have to kill someone and not be killed by someone else. So gameplay. So this game is 4-player, and you are basically, the basic premise is that you will summon creatures to come and fight for you, and every time you summon something, it costs some of your life points. And you have to have life points. You to win, you have to kill the person that's sitting to the left of you. So it goes like in a clockwise thing. So you're trying to kill the person on your left, and you're trying to not be killed by the person on your right. And whoever's the first one to kill the person on their left wins. So obviously you have to use your health to both attack and then also make sure you have enough life left to defend from the person on your right. It's a very interesting balancing game.
Well,
in that.
What did Jake say earlier? You were talking about risk reward, right?
Risk reward. Yeah. Well, it's because you have to so you spend your life to place like minions on the field, and your minions are the ones doing the fighting, unless you have cards that say so. But they all cost life to summon, and some of them cost life to move. And I think the Death Knight, you spend a life every time you move it. Then, but that's the main way you're hurting guys. You also have what were the buffs that everybody got? I don't remember what they were called.
Were they curses?
No, so yeah, they were some sort of
Aspects.
buff, and yeah, there you go. And that only comes into play once someone draws the aspect card. So you also have cards in your hand that do various things, like they can give you a +1 in attack, or +1 health for your minions or whatever. And one of the cards is an aspect card, and whoever draws it gets their pick of, I think there were like 4 or 5 different aspects, and they all do different things. And then it goes around clockwise for, everyone gets to choose one, but obviously whoever drew it gets to pick the best one.
Right, they only get first pick.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say that any of them are particularly better than the others, but it's like, maybe you have a certain play style that would fit a certain one better, but you get first dibs. I think there were 5, I think, because there's like 5 minion types, right? Or no.
So the game too. So there was a lot of Kickstarter stretch goals for this game that added a lot of different type of minions. So the base game has 3 different types, I believe. It's the imp, the Grim Reaper looking guy.
Yeah, like a lich or something like that.
Yeah, the lich.
And the Death Knight.
The Death Knight. There you go. So those are the 3 standard base game minions, and then the Kickstarter added a whole bunch of other ones that we didn't even play with, because it recommends, if you're playing it for the first time, to just use those 3. So we only played with those 3.
Yeah, it added dragons, plague rats, and shades. And I think the shades it also added, weren't there 4 different super creatures that you could, each person could only one of them could be in play on the field at one point or something? There was, it added 2 or 3 different types of game to the game.
Yeah, because it also added the potions and stuff, where it was those big cardboard cutout things that were little vials.
Mm-hmm. That were buffs and stuff.
Yeah. It added a lot of stuff in the Kickstarter that we didn't play with. We just played with the very base rules.
Base game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I think the base game is really good. I know, what was it? We were halfway through and all of us were like, I'm getting some really strong Magic the Gathering vibes from this, where because the way that the creatures fight is every creature has an attack value and a defense value. And I was like,
yeah,
pretty sure it's how Magic cards work. When you attack, they have a attack value and a defense value. And if the attack exceeds the defense, well, guess what? It dies. So
they're dead.
Yeah, and some of them were flying. Which one's the
lich?
Oh, the lich. Yeah, the lich is for flying.
Yeah,
so you can't. But they can only be stopped by other liches.
Yeah.
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 But it was a really fun. It was a very fun game.
Yeah.
Very neat.
I definitely think it's something we need to try again. Get 4 players going with it, because it's definitely got some weird. I'm going to chalk this up to another one that I don't think we played it correctly the first time.
No, yeah. So we read the rules after, because it seemed very weird to me. For me personally, I couldn't understand how you were supposed to summon these guys and move them up, because we said, the knight or whatever, he costs to move. And I guess what we should clarify there, moving is, there's 4 different areas of the board that your minions can be in. One is the very starting summoning area. Then they move up 1 level, and that level has 3 spots also. It kind of minimizes the amount of minions you can have at a time. And then there's a river, which if your minions are in it, at the end of your turn, you heal a bit. And then there's the final level where it's the actual battleground. So moving it, we're talking about moving from, the basic summoning up the 3 other levels to the battleground. So for me, I had a hard time understanding how you were supposed to balance summoning and moving these guys into battle with protecting yourself against the person, like attacking the person on your left while also protecting against the person on your right. So when we read the rules towards, once we finished and we killed Nick so that Jake could win.
Yes. As it should
because
be.
I was getting frustrated. Like I couldn't understand how it was working, and I felt like I was at a stalemate. Like I'd lose 2 points of health and then I'd heal 2, and then Nick would attack again and I'd lose 3, but then I'd heal another. Like it felt like a stalemate to me almost. But we did realize that we're summoning too many minions per turn. You could only do 3, I believe. And I think we had done a lot more than 3 to begin with. And that's probably why Nick got so low on his health ratings.
Well, I feel like what we were doing was you could summon. It's like you could do things as long as you had the health to do it. Or that's how we were interpreting the rules. That's not how that's not how it goes. You have so many slots in your beginning, in your summoning area, and you can only summon that many creatures, and then you can move them up.
Yeah.
As you see fit. But yes, we didn't. We were playing as like summon, move, summon, move, summon, move.
And I think Nick had done that once with like 4 or 5 things at once, and he like summoned, moved, and he had 5 things out there already. And I was like, how am I supposed to defend against this? But he was also really low. But it sucks because I couldn't attack him and just win. That would mean that you would win, but I couldn't attack you because I was trying to defend from all of the 500 minions that Nick summons. But I was really confused on how it was supposed to work. But
note to self: read the rule book first.
This is becoming a trend for us. It really is.
It really is. Just read the rules before you start playing. It'll go smoother. I feel like our deal is like we don't get the feel for a game just by reading how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Now we're just like, no, don't worry about it. It'll work out. We'll just play. We'll get a feel for it. It'll be wonderful. And then this happens.
Yeah. But I feel like it's also, I guess the way we learn is all by doing instead of by reading. Like for me, it makes more sense when I'm actually reading and playing at the same time. So it's like, okay, we're on turn 1. What am I supposed to do? Okay, turn 1 has this, and this. Like
that's what we need our brother for.
Yeah,
he would be like, no, don't you dare move yet.
Yeah, he's
gotta go through the rules.
He's the one that would always read the manual through and through before we're allowed to play. Like me, once you tell me how to do it, I'll remember. But like, don't tell me to read the manual because I'll skim it. I don't want to read that. It's too much.
I'll
like, have you read the Agricola or the Caverna manual? It's a lot, man. It's a book.
I read the Caverna one.
It's the book.
Like,
speaking
all
of
the
our
way
brother,
through.
Speaking of our brother, I just saw a pop-up from Steam, and I just realized that he changed his name in Steam to Darth.
He put Darth in front of it, I know.
He put Darth. What a loser.
I know.
Anyway.
He always was part of the dark side anyway. But
he really was.
He's a Gryffindor, though.
Yeah, peacocking is his nature. So, there's
anyway.
Yeah. We won't get into all that right now, but that's a lot to unpack. But I think going back to what you were talking about, Erica, where like you get to this point where it's like, oh, the guy on my right, his health is low, but I can't go and kill him. I think that's part of the game. I think it's meant to be where it's like, okay, well, yeah, he's gonna die, but I shouldn't let him die. I want him to stay alive so that I can kill the other guy. Because there were cards in there that would let you heal you could heal yourself, which seemed most beneficial, but you could also heal other people, which at first I was like, why would you want to do that? But then like when I start to die there at the end, it's like, well, that makes sense. Erica could have played her heal cards to heal me, which would have stopped Jacob from killing me.
whoever does the
Instead,
killing.
I just killed you.
It's like whoever does the killing is the winner, not.
So then I should have won then. It was my card that killed him.
But I was the one who was doing the majority of the damage. It's all about proportions, Erica.
Yeah. It was Jacob's. Jacob was the axeman.
That's called kill stealing. You take the last hit, you know?
Yeah, well, life siphon only counts the amount of life you've siphoned from the other guy. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of life siphoning going on.
Life siphon
actually.
is literally a your first or your last. It's that game.
No, it definitely is. There is only one winner, which is good in some games. I feel like once we play it again and we go a bit faster and we actually go by the rules, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The
That was
trend of
alright.
us not reading rules though.
we have a problem, but now that we know that we have a problem, it's the first step to us getting better.
We start fixing the problem. No, it's not. We're going to do it again.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, well.
So that's going to be it for us for today. We talked about all of our games. We just finished talking about Life Siphon. Guys, do y'all have anything else to add before we bid adieu?
Buckle up. Yeah.
Read the instructions.
Hey.
Read the rule book.
Read the rules. Fasten your seatbelts. Don't forget your helmets. All right. That's going to be it for us, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for listening in, and toodles.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.